Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of The Suited Shootist. And today, you can see I've gone a little more casual with things for good reason. I wanted to talk about something that I've mentioned in a few different posts, but I really felt like it warranted digging into a little bit in video. And that's the fact that there is a huge difference between dressing well versus dressing up. And dressing up is exactly that. There's two different kind of circumstances where you hear the term dressing up. It either means putting on a costume and pretending to be somebody that you're not, or putting on a suit and tie and pretending to be somebody that you're not normally in your day-to-day life. So in that sense, it really is almost synonymous, regardless if you're talking about dressing more formally or dressing in costume. Whereas dressing well doesn't necessarily have to mean suit and tie. Case in point, I don't think that anybody is going to argue that this is not casual. Short sleeves, shorts, but I would still consider myself to be well dressed because everything fits properly. There's not a whole bunch of baggy excess fabric. It is creating the desired proportions that I'm looking for. And what I mean by that is I'm broader build. Right now I'm carrying around about 30 pounds extra than I really prefer to. So what I'm doing is I'm able to manipulate the image a little bit based on how I dress. There's a little bit of thought that goes into it, is all. For all intents and purposes, I could be in shorts and a short-sleeved shirt that would look very sloppy and just completely out of place just about everywhere. Or something like this, where I'm not necessarily going to go out to a nice dinner wearing something like this, unless it's, maybe in a coastal town. But, I went to a friend's birthday party dressed like this, and the host was in gym shorts and a muscle shirt. Yeah, I was dressed differently, but I didn't feel overdressed, if that makes sense. Now, if I'd shown up in a formal business suit and necktie, that would have been ridiculous. It wouldn't have been contextually appropriate. So that's the delineation that I want to draw. Dressing up is exactly that. It's putting on something that is unnatural to who you are. And it's this air of make-believe, whether you're dressing up as, I don't know, for Halloween and you're going as a slutty parking attendant, or whether you are going to an event that calls for formal attire and that is so out of character for you to the point that a regular suit and tie is actually a costume, or dressing well. And like I said, the real distinction there is simply that a little bit of thought and care has been put into what you decided to put together. What I mean by that is using the shirt as the example, just to start. Number one, I like these Magellan shirts because they're reasonably affordable. They are kind of almost a uniform down here in the Gulf Coast. The fabric is perfectly appropriate for these offensively hot summers that we have. And the cut is such that when I wear the appropriate size, it doesn't look like a sack on me. What I like about them is also the fact that they're cut a little bit longer than like a polo shirt or something that tends to stop a little bit further up. That's a benefit from a concealment standpoint, because that way when I reach up, there's less concern about me exposing my waistline and having my gun show or something like that. It also has the added benefit of elongating my torso, because my shorts are up here at my natural waist, where they're supposed to be, by the way. I made a video on this also, but most folks wear their shorts and pants inappropriately low. I'm going to touch on that later. But point is if this shirt were shorter, now I look boxier, and it makes me look a little bit wider. The tails, when they're out properly, make me look a little bit trimmer, which, until I manage to shake the rest of this weight off, is a welcome side effect. Same thing with the shorts. They're the same kind of quick dry fabric, but the fit is close to the leg. There's not a lot of baggy, flappy, excess material that would make me look boxy. And something as simple as that, little amount of care and attention put towards the fit and just the overall aesthetic, makes me a little bit more put together without being overly dressed. And so that's what the point that I really want to drive home is, it doesn't matter what it is you're wearing. This principle applies to the most casual pool party all the way up to formal events. Formal events are easier because once you start getting into structured dress codes, there's at least a framework, if not a somewhat outdated set of social expectations. Black tie is exactly that. It's a white tuxedo shirt and a black bow tie and a tuxedo. Formal, typically dark suit, dark necktie, white or ice blue shirt. Once you start getting below that, that's where there's a lot more room for improvisation. And so it's just a matter of understanding those rules so that way you can either work within them, or if you choose to deviate, you can do so intentionally so that you don't look like you don't know what you're doing. I hope this helps to kind of illustrate the point. I would love to hear from you guys in terms of what you do to try and be more well-dressed. Not dressed up, more well-dressed. Is there a weak point that you feel like you can improve on? Or is there something that you feel like is getting in your way? Let me know down in the comments. If you haven't joined already, the Facebook group Bespoke Solutions, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. I actually used this as an example of a little summer style challenge that we've got going on. So that's definitely kind of something fun that we got working with. And additionally, if you're finding the content useful, really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're really getting a ton of mileage out of it, if you want to head over to Patreon and subscribe there as well, and you want to support the channel directly, again, I would greatly appreciate that. So hope everybody has a great week. Stay sharp and stay safe.